Hey everyone. Hope y'all are doing swell. Wanted to get this out as soon as possible. I wanted to get it out last night, but distractions. Um, I'm calling this gardening issues and fixes part one. In case there has to be a part two, I don't know. There's a couple of things in here that I wanted to talk about because I did get a question in one of the comments about the first issue, and then I have been asked several times about the second issue. But let's go through these. So the first issue is pots not appearing um, on the rug, or at all for that matter. So essentially, you set your rug out, no matter what you're going to do, whether you're going to build the soil ladder or build some, stack plots or whatever. And the animation completes, it debits your energy, and there's there's no plot. So this happens, and I've had this happen not only in the dorm, as you see here, but I've also had it happen in at least one other house. The island getaway, I did have an issue with that. And try as you might, it doesn't matter which rug, which soil size, which object. I mean, even with the table, the low wooden table or whatever it's called from Mushu that a lot of people like to use, doesn't matter. You're still going to have the same issue where the plot does not appear. Now, the fix to that, it's kind of weird. So the fix to that is to throw down a few objects, and then you want to pick up a cheap pot, just a standard pot, get it in the bazaar or whatever, and then get a cheap seed. Or if you have a seed that matches that pot already that you don't care about. And same thing here, you're going to plant this, and it's not going to appear either. It's just not going to appear. No matter what you do, exit the zone, enter the zone, shut down the game, restart the game, all those things, it doesn't fix it. Pretty mystifying. You need to do this part of it before you submit a ticket, because if you reach out to King's Isle and say that you can't put a plot in the dorm, they're going to say, well, you're not supposed to be able to put a plot in the dorm. And that's true. I mean, that is true. Now, they know full well that people are using rugs and doing this, and they could care less about it. However, tech support people, they live and die by run books, and if it's not in their run book, it's not an actual issue. So that's why you're going to stick that pot in there and put that seed in there. And as you can see here, I think this is one of my tickets that I put forth. I basically said seeds will not appear in pot indoor. Okay. Now, I've had to do this twice. I had to do it for that other house. Takes them about 24 hours to fix it. So you're essentially going to log into their website, their main website. You're going to click help and support. You're going to contact support. And you're going to be, fill in what they need. They're going to need, your information. Don't include your password, obviously. But, they're going to want the character name. Be as descriptive as possible. But the other thing they're going to ask you for, so they'll come back to you and they'll say, well, yeah, we'd really like to help you. However, can you please include a screen capture of the garden or area? Include a screen capture. I don't know why they're asking for it. If you're as descriptive as possible. In dorm, I don't know how much more descriptive I have to be. But apparently they needed a screenshot of it. And once I sent them that, they fixed it. It took them, I think about 12 hours to fix it. So if you run into this, that's one way to do it. They also told me that there was an alternate way to fix this on my end, because apparently it is a local issue, and apparently it's some code that either didn't get patched or something got patched improperly. And as you know, when you fire up Wizard101, it is constantly patching. I mean, you can turn it on, play on it for 10 seconds, turn it off, and literally, fire it back up and it'll patch. So it's constantly patching itself. So anyway, according to them, some patch you didn't get. So the alternative fix is to uninstall the game. Now that part's pretty simple, but reinstalling it, which is also simple, It's the whole, you've blown it all away. So every object that you've downloaded, every piece of gear that that gets visually represented on your screen, every object, all that stuff has to be re-downloaded, and it can take a while, and especially if you're high level, you're probably looking at a good hour, hour and a half before the game gets back to some state of normalcy where it's not just, sitting there feverishly downloading all these objects. But this is an alternative fix if you don't feel like reaching out to them. Um, it's something you can consider doing. Either one of these will fix it. It'll just take time either way. So the second thing I was asked about, I call it the couch potato twirl. Essentially you go in, you've got some plants, and it doesn't just happen to couch, by the way. You go ahead and you go to service them. And you get this, where your screen literally just kind of goes into this fit, and they sit and they twirl and they make weird sounds. There's a couple of ways to mitigate this, and I know probably a lot of you have experienced this. You can do three things. You can either sit here and do nothing, don't touch anything, don't click anything, just take your hands away from the keyboard and mouse and let it run its course. I mean, it's a pain, and sometimes it can take a long time to conclude. It seems like a long time, but if you try to port away or cast something else or move something around, it almost seems like it makes it take longer. So there's that option. The second option is to pay a small tax, like I like to call it. So you're going to cast a single service need, single spell on one couch potato or one plant, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be. And this usually happens in a zone where you have a lot of seeds. If you only have a few seeds, this doesn't tend to happen. Once you pay that little tax, I think you probably caught that. It's like a split second where it kind of calculates and it turns that couch potato. And then you're fine to go ahead and conclude. So, pay the -3 energy tax. It'll save you, I don't know, 50 seconds, 2 minutes even. I've had it last for a long time. I've even had it so bad a couple times where I had to just shut the game down. The other alternative fix to that is to enter and exit the zone. So you want to go in and you want to stand in about the spot that you're going to, cast these service spells from. Just sort of stand there for a second or two. And then you want to just either port away or, turn, exit, whether you're going inside or outside, whichever, doesn't matter. Or go through a portal. Just get out of the zone. Come back in, set yourself up, and go ahead and, start the process of tending to the needs. Now, I'll say this particular option doesn't always work. Not always, but usually it does. So that's something you can try first, and if it's not working for you, try paying the tax. I don't know, it's just a glitch. I guess in the beginning, you weren't meant to put, hundreds and hundreds of seeds in a single zone, let alone scrunch them all together. So yeah, I think that there is an animation there that's it's a cycle that's trying to run through, and it's kind of trying to do it all at once, and it's maybe overclocking your video card, because I've got an i9 with some of the best stuff on it, and it still does it to this machine. So I can't imagine that it's a hardware issue or capacity issue. I just think that when they originally coded this, they didn't plan for nutcases like me putting hundreds and hundreds of couch potatoes in one area. So that's kind of it. I don't know if we'll have a number 2 to this, but who knows? Who knows? I'm sure other things will come up, and if they do, leave a comment. Either way, enjoy. Thanks for checking this out, and peace, everybody.